It's the 29th of May 2026, and the Creator God is a total corrupt bastard. Totally fucking corrupt. Right, so at the moment, he seems to be making suggestions with my father in a far-fetched way. I'm not saying what it is because I don't want to offend anyone, but they're going well below the fucking belt with it. At least 200 suggestions per day for the last 5 days, and also I'm being accused of molesting Sadie. We've got all that shit being fucking thrown in my face, and to apply that I'm going to be smashed in with a fucking knife. So that's the way the Creator God wants to fucking control his fucking forces, in his buckled fucking way, sexual slaughter cunt. Right, so the next problem is this psychic reading. There's only 2 days left for the that reading to come true. And as far as dating goes, and as far as all that shit goes, you're wasting your fucking time. You're supposed to be with people that raped you as a fucking child. That's the Creator God's answer. Jesus Christ is a buckled piece of shit that sex slaughtered Mary Magdalene in his living life. She was a child prostitute when Jesus Christ raped the fucking and out of her. If Jesus returns in my lifetime, I would be going after him and I'll rip him to fucking pieces for sexually slaughtering me in every fucking life. Going back to 20 years ago, a past life psychic said, yes, it's a sexual fucking car, Christ, you fucking buckled cunt. Yeah, all this force is fucking twisted and fucking hellbent. The Creator God's absolutely fucking warped. Fucking controlling this force like a piece of shit. Telling me that, just come to fucking pieces. Just come to fucking pieces. The Creator is absolutely fucking hell fucking bent. I had to cut the recording because basically it got busy, and you got this deranged bastard called Jehovah God, Yahweh, that needs to smash every fucking drain cover at me, and every time I walk past a sexual looking lady, they're controlling and angling a fucking bike to my penis. So every itchy bell end, every fucking tingling rim, every fucking itchy or impulse in the bumhole, every erection, every sexually excited erection, fucking do that fucking bike, you little bastard Jehovah, you fucking cold-iced fucking cunt Yahweh, you deranged bastard Yahweh, your fucking son Jesus Christ, a fucking sexual slaughter fucking terrorpot that suffered the guts in and out of me, raping the fuck out of me as a child, stopping me get sex all my life, in both lives. And I really enjoyed it, Christ, because I was forced to enjoy it. Where you got out of people that raped me as a child, men, as a child, Christ. And then I'm known as the sick bastard all my life, you little fucking cold-iced cunt. You're never getting fucking away with this, Christ. You buckled cunt, you twisted fucking hell-bent sexual slaughter cunt. And remember, there's no sex in heaven or hell. Only on material realm, earth. And also, the Bible makes it clear that there's no sex in heaven or hell. I've lost what I was going to say, because that fucking bastard's twisting my fucking mind at the moment. We're not twisting it, trying to stop me say what I want to fucking say. The bastard's cold as ice. The fire-staking bastard. The Creator God's absolutely fucking real evil, fucking sexual slaughter, fucking terrorpot. Ice axing, knife you to the fucking floor, fucking terrorpot. The bastard just can't help it. The fucking bastard is fucking possessed. The Creator God is fucking possessed. Also, that sneaky little bastard called Yahweh is cursing me with the sexual, sexy sun, sex in the sun curses. So I just want to mention that on this digital audio recording. The bastard can't help it. The bastard's absolutely fucking psychopathic. It's going absolutely psychotic on me. The Creator God's just absolutely fucking warped. Right, so obviously the Creator God is fucking demented, absolutely fucking deranged, hitting out black and fucking blue. Razor wire suggestions, blood splatter everywhere, fucking overhanging trailers to rip my legs off from behind. Just fucking come apart, will you? That's the way the Creator God's fucking demented, deranged forces are working as it stands today. And the bastard's slamming every bike, controlling my willy, all to a bike. with the suggestion, you can't come off your bike, you can't fall off your bike, you're on your bike, you're welded to your bike, or just do bike, you know, absolutely going for gold with their fucking stupid setups. So I'm struggling to have a say, because I get a taste of my own medicine and just shut my fucking mouth. Yeah, the Creator God, fucking absolutely fucking totally buckled, absolutely possessed, fucking cruelty cunt. So so Jesus wants me to fuck people twice the age of people that raped me as a child for first ever sexual relationship, twice as ugly, twice as used, and an old bag as a stay-old mother. Just the other day, someone said, you'll have to go with someone in your age group who has a daughter. You can't go with their daughter because their daughter's a mother as well. That's where the Creator God fucked up, messing my fucking life up. So obviously Jesus Christ will be fucking paying for it if he fucking returns. And at Christmas time, I'm going to start a war. So, you know, that bastard just is absolutely vicious as fuck. The Creator God is absolutely deranged like fucking anything. Right, the Creator Jesus Christ is deranged like fuck. So obviously I'm being basically, Jesus Christ can't help fucking hitting out black and fucking blue, putting people in my direction so that I can't have a fucking say on this recording, basically pushing teenage mothers in my direction. Yeah, I'm vaping stench. Yeah, the Creator God is a total fucking bastard. Woo, my bike to Willie. Woo, bike. Christ is a bike, you fucking spastic. You deranged fucking cunt. Your fucking creation's absolutely fucking bollocks, Christ. You fucking twisted, bent bastard. They're bringing the Wayne business up, by the way. It goes back to 1994. And they're bringing the Michael Jackson prostitute up with the setups. Right, so we've got Seagull saying my PIN number. We'll get that quite a lot, actually. And we've got a documentary of Jesus Christ telling me how to enjoy sex with people that sexually abused me as a child. Getting your guts in and out of people that rape you as a child. So Jesus needs to tell me that with his fucking buckled fucking creation. And no matter what your Willie does, or whatever, they need to fix Loud Bike. Since the 14th of January 2026, every single day except for 3 days, where it's 3 to 400, 700 to 1,000 loud bikes tied to this control to my privates, always tied to a split millisecond, like it's auto parts. That's what the Creator God's fucking telling me. Fucking disease bastard. But yeah, it's fixed, like a pulley, control fixed. You can't do nothing about it. But they're also timing lookalikes to people that abused me as a child, tied to an erection as well. So obviously that's what Jesus wants, because Jesus is a right bastard. B-A-S-T-A-R-D. Right, so I'm being told I'm very sick. Yeah, for what Jesus done to me, fucking cruelty cunt, fucking ice axing bastard, fire staking cunt. Yeah, so I've had more bikes slammed to my fucking penis. They wanna fucking hit my penis out, fucking take my penis down, and they want me to crack the nut over people that raped me as a child. The Creator God is absolutely buckled to fuck. The cunt's fucking possessed, and there's also a teenage couple look like below the age of consent, so about 14, pushing a buggy. So yeah, it says it all, doesn't it, God? You fucking twisted buckle bastard, you sexual slaughter fucking fire staking cunt. You don't fucking axe me to the fucking floor, Christ, and get away with it, you bastard. There's no one left to you, bastard. I've got to go with a stale piece of shit uglier than people that raped me as a child, you stone cold bastard, Christ. Right, we had this issue with Ella. Well, we've got animals saying that I'm with Ella, in a sexual relationship with Ella. Well, obviously, they've taken that from me, or they've fucked it up for me. I've not seen her after the 14th of January. I don't even know if she would have allowed the age gap, in fact, but if that was the case, it's got to be replaced. because Jesus Christ, people have taken it away from me. And I'm not worshipping Jesus Christ because Jesus Christ sex sucked the guts in and out of Mary Magdalene, a child in his lifetime. And you worship someone that has had sex with a child, do you? Right, that's good, isn't it? So, incidentally, I will say, I'm being cursed with the sexy sunshine, Sex and the Sun, you know, all that sexual weather, the Lauren curse of that specific painting that was put on postcards, commercially, and then taken off the shelf where I never saw it again after the day I saw it. I didn't click at the time I was in the shop, did it? And otherwise I would have photographed the evidence. So this painting that's on the card is basically a Lauren lookalike in her early 20s with soft skin, posing with a sexy lip, a straight lip, moving her body in a sexual motion with her hand down, shining the sun down out her hand in a sexual way, curving her hand as she does it, on a lookalike to myself, walking down a track, being cursed with the sunshine, and the rest of the picture is cloudy and rainy and mystical. So yeah, very good, Christ. Very, very fucking good. Might try and give up smoking, but I've had one fag. I'll end up buying more tonight, I guarantee it. But as it stands, I bought some Nicorettes again. Been taking them for about half a year now. But I keep on buying fags because I keep drinking too much vodka. Right, Jesus Christ has robbed me of my sexual life and I can't forgive him. So, the problem is, I can't find anyone that's clean. I can't find anyone that's legal age of consent that's not a single mother. Or mother, should I say. And these people that get in relationships, if they got what they fucking want, they've got a nice beautiful blonde or whatever, if you want to use that interpretation, they're not going to fucking let that go, are they? And they're going to make sure they make that fucking person pregnant. This is the mistake God's made. Taken everything away from me, aged me to make it impossible for me to get anyone. So the bastard has fucking executed me and I'm not fucking forgiving. There's no way will I ever forgive Christ for fucking sexually murdering me for another life. Because when I'm born again, Jesus Christ is going to rape the guts in and out of me as a child through men raping me as a child. In my next life I could be a girl like I was in my previous life, according to a psychic that gave me a reading 20 years ago, which my mum sorted out. In my last life, Jesus Christ sex sucked the guts in and out of me as a little girl, and I was raped many times as a child, stopped from getting sex, and died tragically in my early 20s as a beautiful lady that the men would have gone for, according to what the psychic told me. In this life, Jesus has done the fucking same, and the consequences are coming back at me as the sickest bastard living. And also, every problem I've had, anything from the burning problem that's being caused or whatever, to tying my fucking penis up with a loud bike, to you name it, the bastard's fucking hanged me, the little cunt, and I'm not fucking forgiving him. The problem is I got grey hair coming. That's how late the Creator God needs to leave it before I get anyone. And just 5 to 10 minutes ago, when I was walking about outside, there was a granny for you van. How fucking nice, Christ. What a nice knife in my fucking back, you bastard. I don't fancy an old age pensioner, Christ, a granny. This is the fucking mistake you made in your fucking creation when you fucking started it, and the reason I'm born is due to sexuality, and all these threats I've had in my life is on sexual grounds, 99% of it. And you're not being fucking forgiven, Christ, it's too late. Right, so I've got a pack of fags. I've got about 8 of them left, something like that, 7 of them left. I've hid them in the church to try and give up smoking, and if I get a craving I get it at the church tomorrow. So I just had a fag, hoping to give up on that fag, but I've also got another fag to take home as a backup plan in case I get a load of shit going back, because I'm going back early today because I'm not in the best of some moods, because I've lost Olive, the psychic reading, which is set in stone. That's had to be taken from me. That's had to go to a scum person, it's got to go with someone else, it's got to be robbed. I get told, oh, you can get a blown up doll. Oh, that's going to fucking solve the problem being molested, isn't it, as a child? Oh, Why don't you just go with a fucking old fucking granny? We'll take it from you, the sexy ones, and we'll fucking stab you in the back and give you a fucking granny or a poached fucking face, or a pizza face, or a fucking grubby fucking woman that's fucking used, got AIDS and all that. That's the way fucking God's people fucking treat me. I'm detaching myself from God, indefinite, and all the fucking people out there. They can fucking go to fucking Yahweh, evil bastard. You don't stop people from getting anyone in the whole fucking life, Christ. That's the problem. You make the biggest mistake ever. I can't use a dating site. I've got to feed them with food and give them money for top-ups for their entertainment purposes. Yeah, very fucking good, Christ. All scammers online. There's not a single person that's speaking to me on the internet at the moment. All the dating's all over. I've messaged about 7,000 people, and I spent months and months in the winter time when I could have gone out on those nice cloudy days just to try and fucking look for someone, and they're all fucking scammers that are trying to get you off the platform to socialise. Well, yes, if you socialise, there's nobody single, Christ, or if they're younger than you, they put a knife in your fucking back and tell you to go with someone in fucking your own age when you've never had anyone. I'm not being funny, but these people in my age group, they're fucking mothers, they're very stale, they fucked thousands, and they don't use condoms. Many of them admitted that, the ones that are genuine in foreign countries on these dating sites. Oh no, people never use a condom. People don't say that to anyone. They make the suggestion for protection purposes, but no, they get enjoyment of proper sex without condom on. Oh yeah, I got to go with a used person that's fucked other men, Christ. You're not getting away with it, you bastard. You took away from me what I should have gone with when I was a younger person. And you stopped me, and you defeated it. You defeated everyone. You stopped me getting anyone. You've road closures, closing places down to stop me getting to know people that I fancy there. There's 7 people I knew last year put a knife in my back. So the one was at Bridport. This is one of the early ones, but if we go back before that, there's a lady on a horse saying that she was single. In actual fact, she's one of those that doesn't mind the age gap. So she's about to look at 18 to 22. And she said she was single. We had a quick conversation because she saw me as being a sort of a friendly person. And 2 weeks later, she was with her boyfriend, and she was talking about her new boyfriend walking past. Not to me, but so obviously God farted on me, basically. God wants me with an old fart. So the bastard's cursing me, you know. Nothing I can do about it. It's the way God works. So I'm not a very fucking happy person. What else was I going to say? Yeah, there were 7 people. So that was the first one at Barrack. Well, not Barrack, Paviot's Mill, whatever it is. That's the first of the ones that Christ has fucked up for me getting out of people I know. Before June or July 2025, as far as direct people that I've actually spoken to or know a little bit, I've only known 7 single people in my whole fucking life, and that includes school days. Because all the people at school, apart from Lisa, the one I don't fancy, and the one that's into different interests than me, all the others were taken in that school that I was at. So the only ones that weren't taken was basically Lisa and that really fat lady. I can't remember what her name is, but she's very ugly. She's got that grubby look. She was single as well, but no one took to her. That's the type you want me with, Christ, you bastard. Anyway, the next person was at Bridport. She came up to speak to me. This is before they changed the bus times, by the way, because the last bus is basically the one I'm going to be getting today, which is the 1:15, but now you have a 5:15 bus. So but at the time when I saw this person, there was people around me saying that they're going to fucking smash me in around the fucking corner and all the rest of it, mistaking me as Saven and Liam or whatever. And that got me a bit worried, and then the way she was speaking sort of made me a bit nervous. So I said, and also it was at the time the bus arrived when I was at the bus stop, and then obviously I said I'd come back the next day, and it's also before I had to visit my mum, which was in the day after that day, because Mum invited me up to stay there. So I was preparing to see her, and I told her I'd see her at a certain time the following day, but she never appeared. I didn't see her for a couple of months, or 6 weeks, or whatever it was, and then when I next saw her, she was in a sexual relationship with a really rough guy. It's possible she could have already been in a relationship, I do not fucking know, but she told me she was single at the time, and she was interested, but I couldn't, because it was the last bus, I couldn't take that. I had to get on the bus, you see. I think it was the day I was hid my tent and sleeping bag out as well, because I was doing a lot of camping in the time period, last year. Yeah, and then obviously we get to the next person, the beginning stages of Lucy going to the gardening group, which I attended. So I got to know her a bit, and the last time I saw her was the first week of January 2026, and she was joking with me because I was single, and she said, "You will get someone." And she had faith in it as well. Lucy's 20, but as soon as I asked her if she still goes to mind on Facebook and messaged her and all the rest of it, there's a specific post that I put on there, and she mentioned it to the people that go to that specific community day gardening group, and then I've got on a bad behaviour contract. Then she deleted my request and she blocked me on the messaging service on Facebook, and I thought, oh, nice of you to stab people in the fucking back, innit, eh? So I thought, how fucking nice. So that's, even as a friend, just shows you what a fucking piece of shit the creator God is, doesn't it? And Jesus Christ. So that fell through. After Lucy, we came across this young lady that went from Misterton to Mosterton on the bus, who I fancy, and she fancies me as well, actually, and I can tell that because she started speaking to me friendly. Obviously she's a lot younger, maybe a touch older than Lucy, it's hard to say. She's got one of those sort of facial appearances where she could be Lucy's age roughly, or a bit older, but she could be as high as 30, it's hard to say, but she's got that sort of appearance where they look younger at an older age. She's a sort of basic attraction, but an attraction that a lot of people can't fancy and a lot of people can fancy, but it's like a required sort of attraction, and I actually did like that person. So she had smooth skin. She wasn't a rough skin fucking how do I word it, grubby fucking ugly piece of shit, but I spoke to her the first time, and she was looking at me as if she fancied me, and had that dazzling look in her eye, and I thought, and then I saw her again on the bus on another occasion, and she did the same again. She recognised me, and when I looked to her, she looks at you in the eyes where you sort of got to give you that intelligent look back, or you sort of, she takes, if you were to look at her, you sort of end up with that intelligent look in your eye, looking at her, because of the way that she looks at you. It sort of brings you up, if you know what I mean. But after that, I didn't see her for a long time, and I haven't seen her since, not on the bus anyway. There's a possibility I've seen her on a couple of occasions. She was with a bloke to look at, I'd say, in his mid-40s, maybe a touch older than me, but not by much. But I can't guarantee it was the same person, because I didn't see her face properly when I was on the bus and I saw her walking. There's also another occasion where I possibly saw her in the same sort of area, but again, I don't know if it was her 100%, and this time she was with someone about 20-ish, something like that, and this was sort of a half-serious type person. It was not serious, but on the stages of where there's a serious-looking person, if you get what I'm saying. So one of those that are possibly, it's hard to say, it looked like a type that might start on me, might not start on me, if I saw that sort of person as I passed in the street, directly. If they can stop timing fucking bikes to itchy bell ends and whatever, they just won't fucking stop it. The creator God's fucking possessed, Yahweh is evil. So anyway, that's the let's see how many I've gone through. 1, 2, 3, that's 4. Right, the fifth person wasn't someone I actually knew properly. It's someone I was walking around in the Oval. This was in the Christmas time period. I thought, is she single, is she not? I don't know. But I saw her, I think it's January the 1st, 2026, and she was in a relationship with someone. So she was about 27 to look at, and she was with someone about high 30s, possibly hitting the 40s. It's hard to say. And this was a rough person. This is a type that doesn't like me. I didn't get any threats, but they were speaking to each other in a rough... She didn't have a rough accent, but the type she was with had that I'll bring that R out. Like when they say I'll bash you, and I say I'll bash him in, I'll fucking kill him. They speak like that. They've got to have that stupid fucking accent. And they're the bastards that always start on me, mistaking me as Liam and Savannah all the fucking time. So then obviously we move into 2026. We got this Ella that I mentioned, and they've taken her away from me. So obviously one of the biggest mistakes, because I don't know, she seemed really friendly with me, and she's the sort that I sort of, when I looked at her, and I thought I sort of attached to her, not sexually, but it's like you're forced to like her because she's just that a nice person. And I thought, you know, if the possibility was there, I would have got with that person, because she was really friendly. But I mean, she was single. I didn't ask a question, but there's a certain conversation we had, and it came out to make the suggestion that she was definitely single. But what happens? Instead of doing her work course, sale, whatever it is she was doing, she said she was going to come back, and she was going there until March or May, I can't remember the month, or April. She said one of the months, I can't remember what one it was, but she's definitely said she was going to go there every week until that time. But after that second week, on the 14th of January this year, I never saw her ever again. So they fucking buckled that up and fucked that right up as well. And also, through information that's been given, it turns out she has a boyfriend, which is only 3 weeks later, I might add, like it is with all of them, always getting someone, always taking it away from me, if it was to go to me, if you get what I'm saying. And then obviously to find out that she's been made pregnant as well. So you made the biggest fuck up ever. Jesus Christ, you little cold ice bastard. Because there's literally nothing at all now, nothing at all out of everything. I can't rely on anything at all. The whole fucking lot's been put through, which is the worstest thing. And when it comes to like the staff at the place where I live, you know, if I speak to them, I sort of mention that I can't find anyone, sort of when a young person says, "You just yell at them, what's wrong with single mother? What's wrong with single mother?" There's plenty of people in your age group you can have that's a single mother, with that fucking small-minded fucking accent, where Jesus Christ cursing me to tell me to go with a fucking stale piece of shit. You ain't fucking getting away with this, Christ. You won't get away with it, you bastard. You're fucking cold. You're fucking corrupt. Anyway, it becomes more serious when it comes to that specific name, Ella, because it's unravelling in all my fucking jungle tracks. No, I like her, yeah, but they fucked it up for me going with her, and it needs to be replaced. Possibly they can replace it with another fucking Ella, but there isn't another fucking Ella. I don't know any other fucking Ellas. And you're getting someone that looks as cute and friendly as that, with a nice, kind accent, is going to be literally fucking impossible. So, yeah, all these jungle tracks, in the quiet parts, in the low-down parts, and even in sort of the Alliance First Impressions, which is one of my top favourite fucking jungle tracks, which is a 1993 track, which was initially on Legend Records, and then it was reissued on, well, it wasn't actually properly released on Legend Records, but when it was properly released, it was released on EP called Enforcers 6 on Reinforced Records, and you had Simon Templar remix, or sorry, I'll say the track properly, Wax Doctor, The Saint, Simon Templar mix, and you also had Covert Operations Ice Cold on that EP, which are also good tracks, but not as good as the Alliance First Impressions, which was my top favourite. You also have Mearson or something like that, I can't remember the name, it's called Find Yourself. That's a crap tune. But the other ones are good tunes, excellent tunes in fact. Anyway, it mentions Ella in that. So at the start of the Alliance First Impressions, it goes like this. Like that. But there's also a sample that goes Ella, Ella, Ella in that track. And then if you go into subsequence drumming space, I think it's half to 3/4 of the way through the track, it goes Ella, and there's many other tracks. These are the ones that literally near enough say Ella, but you've got samples in there and sounds. There's about 200 tracks at least that I've discovered since I knew Ella, that's spiritually uncovering Ella. Now, like I said, I do like Ella. I like her as a friend, and if I could get with her, I would, but they fucked it up. They made her pregnant. They gave her a boyfriend. They snatched her away from me. God's fucking people. Right, so, animal voice sounds, or coming out as sounds like that, are mentioned in the name Ella. So a cat's meowing, and it goes, Ella, like that. And you've got a dog barking, Ella, Ella, like that. And we've had a couple of birds and seagull sounds saying, Justin is with Ella. And there's like, and obviously whatever else, you know. I've never had a psychic prediction when it comes to this Ella, but I have had a psychic prediction of this Olive. But I discovered while looking at the religious version of Ella, where it basically means the divine. So it means, in other words, it means Jesus Christ. So Ella could actually, in some ways, be Jesus Christ in human form return, just in a sort of suggestive way, if you get what I'm saying. Not that is real, but it is very serious, all this Ella. But the problem is, all this Ella stuff's unfolding right across me right now at this minute in time, still. There's a specific picture that I liked on YouTube, so I decided to play the video. And when I played the video, there's a song behind it. It was actually a track, I can't remember what the track's called, but it's actually saying Ella, and got samples of Ella right across that track as well. And then I discovered, I had the Dance Trance series, a lot of the Dance Trance mixes, when I was like, from the age of late 12, 13 onwards, and they're like jungle mixes. I still listen to them now. I listened to it last night, in fact. I always listen to that sort of music. My music hasn't changed. And but there's one specific mix I've never had. I've never had any of the dance trances from the Dance Trance Intelligence tape pack, or mixes should I say, even online. I've not heard them online, and I decided to listen to one which was Randall, DJ Randall, which was Intelligence 1995, early 95, at Trinity Hall, Atlantis, I think it is, in Bristol. And it's called Dance Trance Randall Intelligence. And it's got a picture of a fish on the cover with a nice sort of rainbow colour sort of flyer that's on there. And obviously, when I bought the Dance Trance USB stick, I had it on there as well, because I bought that as well to see what ones I missed in the days when I had those mixes. And at the beginning part of the mix, about 8 minutes in, something like that, I can't remember how many minutes in, you've got a track that's called Out on the Streets. I'm not sure who does it. I know the track, it's not one of my favourites, but the track's called Out on the Streets. And then you've got this Chinese MC, where this Chinese MC says, Ella's coming strong, yeah. So, yeah. And like I said, there's many other things as well. But it's also in my alternative music, which is the stuff I listen to when I'm in my lowest state of moods. Like when I'm sort of feeling like I don't want to live anymore. And that's Cryo Chamber Dark Ambient, which is an American label, Cryo Chamber Records. There's only unravelling fucking word Ella in that as well. And also, when I was listening to some meditation music, which is another alternative music that I like, so you like producers like Llewellyn, which is a well-known artist in the New Age scene, even right across the New Age music tracks is saying Ella, or there's chords or verses or choirs that are bringing out the word Ella. And there's quite a lot of other things as well that's bringing up Ella. But what have they done? They fucked it up. If that was supposed to be with me, if it was planned to go with me, that person, I do not know. But it gets even worse, because those dance trance tapes, especially the Mission Control mixes in particular, which also contained some of the Sound of Summer and the Wedding Anniversary Part 2 mixes, had a specific tape cover. And it's got a picture of a line drawing of a head. And in the ear area, it's got like a bird-looking picture. And it's a mixed sort of lines. I don't know how to describe it, because it's like a face that's drawn with lines. And it's got like a red lip that stands out on the actual facial, on the face of that specific tape cover. And it's how do I word it? It's like a yellowy sort of red, yellow-red, touches of blue and green on there. Mixed sort of colours, but mostly sort of orangey sort of a colour. And on the side of the tape, it was like a purple layer, and then you'd have the DJ name, like in white writing, saying saying Randall, Fallout, DJ SS, Top Buzz, Jumping Jack Frost, Kenny Ken, Ratty, or whatever. On the back of that tape cover, a little card bit at the back of the tape cover, it has a purple backing still, and it has each side of the back cover, it has two white squares with two diamond-shaped triangles, which are red, which say Dance Trance the Future inside of it. And then in small writing between the two squares, it says Master from Data Originals or something like that. I can't remember what it said on the tape cover now. Well, that specific drawing actually resembles this Ella. There's some facial appearance in Ella that resembles that, and she does actually have some appearance to my face as well. So she has got a similarity look to myself. Slightly, it's there. I found out later on, I already knew that Fritz Gerald, or Gerald Fritz, was the designer of that specific picture. Well, it turns out there's actually a singer also called Ella Fitzgerald, and I only discovered that recently as well. So this Ella business is turning out a lot more serious than I ever thought. It's like if I didn't turn against God, which I turned against God in April because everything's been put through, it was still to some extent I wasn't happy, but I was still sort of thinking maybe God's rewarded me, and that God has let me finally have someone, even though there's a big age gap, if that was to be the case, that is. But unfortunately, it was taken from me. They deliberately made sure that she got a boyfriend, and they made sure that she got pregnant, and they fucked it right up. So they made the biggest mistake in history, because all this is going to have to be fucking replaced. They won't replace it, but what I'm going to do is get my hard drives out to foreign countries to let everybody know what sick bastard pieces of shit they are in the UK, trying to rip me to pieces on sexuality. So I got all this data, but unfortunately one drive has been returned that I sent to China, and this one I sent some time ago, so I'm not very happy about that at all. And the problem is Oh, that's something else I forgot about this. There's commercials, there's ads, mostly from other countries that are applying or making the suggestion that I'm with Ella. So that's another conspiracy I want to include in this recording. So I'm going to have to cut the recording, but I'm still going to continue this because someone's walked into the church. So carry on listening, because obviously I'm only just stopping it, but I'm going to be adding straight away. I'm outside the church. Just want to mention that there's another bit of information I wanted to reveal, and that is people are actually thinking I'm with Ella, not just media or adverts on YouTube or wherever I'm seeing it on the internet. The problem is they've deliberately messed it up, and they're not aware of this. The people that, I don't know if it's the CIA or some form, they've got no in advance suggestions that they're making, like they plan all this movement around me. But if that's the case, it's going to have to be replaced, and finding someone that's as friendly and as good looking and as, like, you know, really friendly, I mean sort of someone that you just take to liking straight away, that's going to have to be replaced. Right, so this loud bike issue has been going on since 2008, but before 2008, June the 8th 2008, I think that's the date. Looking at my life story pack, it seems to apply that that's the starting time of when that's just suddenly increased into how many percent? 50% of the bikes on the road. And then 2015, 2017, I think it was, every bike of those 2 years were tied to an erection, whether it was out and about, on holiday, visiting my brother and mum, or whether I was anywhere else. They managed to control it everywhere I went, at that bike, every erection for that year. Those 2 years, sorry, and also 2016, there was under so many, I can't remember how many, but it's near enough every bike as the other. This year's been the same, but ever since I saw Ella on the 14th of January, this organised force that's against me, they've got no in advance technology, or is Yahweh being a bastard causing it. That was the start when there was 700 to 1,000 plus loud bikes tied to erections, itchy, whatever, tingling, whatever, every single day, apart from 3 days. Since I saw Ella. So they knew that they were going to put it through, or they were going to turn her against me. They want me destroyed. And the next fucking problem is when I went outside like just now, they're digging at me again, claiming that I raped Sadie Dando. Sadie, yeah. So I'm getting very pissed off with that, because I've never had sex with her. I've never raped her. There's the same with Amy. There's the same with Stephanie. But you know, you've got to have this shit thrown at you. And if we go back in the days, this was happening, but there was times when my brother was visiting my place and staying at my place in Bridgewater, when I was living there, and they tried to even, you know, start bringing that up as well, which is not true, and obviously my brother knows that's not true. So yeah, they're doing everything they can to accuse me of this and that. And in the past, we go back, say 20 years ago, all my enemies were claiming that I had HIV and claiming that I've raped people and whatever, to turn people against me so that they can have them for themselves. And then in threats they have told me, haha, we fucked it up for you getting a teenage. This goes back 14 years ago. Hang on, let's work it out. 44, yeah, actually a bit further than that. Well, let's say about 17 years, give or take. Yeah, my enemies were saying, haha, we fucked it up for you getting a teenager. Haha, we held you back from getting anyone. Haha, you're in your 30 now. Haha, you've got to go with a fucking milk. You've got to go with a stale piece of shit. And you've got to take into account, I'm now 44, coming up 45, and I still haven't had anyone. So yeah, my enemies are fucking won, thanks to God's fucking creation. And God's fucking causing his animals and seagulls to say, ha ha ha. And even at times I've been in dangerous situations. Seagulls have told people to fucking weapon me down, or to smash me in, saying he raped her and all the rest of it. And saying my PIN number when I go to the cash point, or anything like that. And there's always fucking bitterness. It's like the creator God's causing it nastily. But God has thought in the past that I've molested Stephanie when I haven't. So, yeah, that went on for years and years of these animal voice sounds. This is when I was in Bridgewater. The surveillance threat didn't come in until, I'm not sure what year it was, I think it's 2016 or 2017. It's the first time I was ever mistaken as that person. And it didn't just come as one threat. It just exploded in a mass straight away. From the very first threat I had, I ended up laughing because this person plays a guitar apparently, and I was threatened to have my guitar smashed up. Yeah, at that time, all the people that I knew, like the weed smokers that were on the beach, they knew what sort of music I was listening to, and they knew I wasn't that person. So they kind of found it funny as well when I mentioned that I was being mistaken as that person, and I said, "Who is that person?" and whatever, because I was listening to the music that I listened to on this like white round speaker thing, which takes a micro SD card and whatever. Someone's just walked into the church, so I'm just going to pause a minute. Yeah, I had to stop the recording because obviously it was I needed, it's a bit impolite, but to continue doing it while someone else is in the church. I have spoken to that person, just had a quick chat. It's quite a friendly chap. But going back to the whatever it was I was mentioning, yeah, enemies were taking all those and turning against me, going back in the past. When I reached the age of about early 30s, the enemies weren't taking people away from me for themselves. There just wasn't anyone single, or there appeared to be no one single, and they were all, and the problem is all those that, even if I didn't know them that well, the problem is they had the power to brainwash all these females against me with the lies that they came up with in the past, and they've even paid people to turn people against me, which has been mentioned in threats when I was living in Bridgewater, especially if we go back to the 2006 area. It was rarely mentioned after 2010, 2011. But yeah, apparently what they were doing is they were paying people to stop specific females that I wanted to go with from going with me. But I don't understand the full structure of this, or how that's being caused, or who's doing it, or what. Then again, if we go back to when I was living in Willavington, there was one person, what was her name? I think her name was, is it Polly? I'm not sure. I really fancied this Polly. She's like really, really sexy back in the day. So she was roughly just a little bit younger than me, not by much, because I wasn't that old myself. But she didn't actually live in Willavington. She came on visits, and she was single, yeah, and she did like me to some extent. But the problem is, what happened was, her family came into big money, winning the lottery or something like that, and she basically said you won't be seeing me again. And this is sort of I didn't have anything I could say or what, because obviously she was in sort of discussions with other people, and I couldn't really sort of speak to her at that time. I never saw her again, and according to what I heard, how true this is I do not know, but she ended up going with a celebrity. But I don't know if that section of it's true. The previous bit is true, where she came into a lot of money, but I don't know about the bit about going with a celebrity, because that's not been confirmed. There's not accurate information. It might be true, it might not be, I just don't know. So yeah, this is the way my life's been planned, to have everything taken from me. But the problem is, why I've been aging, they fucked it up for me getting anyone. And the problem is, they're having sex at younger ages today, well before the legal age of consent in the UK, which is 16. But if you're in but they still consider them as minors until 18, apparently, because they're still at school. However, that wasn't the case going back to the 90s, because when someone was 16, even if they were still at school, they could go with someone older than me. But they changed the rules, not so much the laws, but the rules, and people don't allow the age gap anymore because of what the media's thrown out in modern times, which is not helpful for those that have never had anyone and been sexually abused and trying to find a younger person when they've not had sex in their whole life properly. But, you know, this is what their aim is, this is what the government's aim is, and the government work on the principle of Yahweh. They have that religion tied behind Freemasonry, and they worship the solid structure, material matrix gods. And I've turned against them because God's committed murder on me, and committed sexual murder on me. And another thing I want to mention, I can't say who said this, and the thing is, again, this person's a minor, and they're making it sound like, well, you've got that person you can go with, but the problem is, this person was born negative attraction, and also this person's not legal age of consent yet, and also it's connected to people that don't like me mixed with people that do like me, and it's not a very good mix, if I put it to say the least. But I can't exactly say who I'm trying to refer to, because it's difficult to explain. I don't know how to word it, but let's just say that even if that person wasn't born negative attraction, it would be through. I'll just tell you that straight, okay? But that's what one specific person wanted to mention. It's not good at all. And obviously, if there were anybody single on, say, that side of things, they are against me as well. But what I will say, moving on to family and relatives and people like that now, I mentioned this on a previous recording, and so I mention quite a lot about the Ella as well. This Ella is more serious than ever, but they put it through. I don't know if that would have ever actually have come true, you know, me going with her, even if I did see her on further occasions. But I can definitely tell you now, the relationship, the friendship, should I say, between me and her, sort of like, is just sort of, I've never had anyone in my whole life that's a kind of attractive female, there's a young lady that's actually ever liked me that much in my whole life, and they've turned her against me by making her pregnant and giving her a boyfriend. How they're going to fucking replace that, I do not know. Anyway, let's get back to this Olive, shall we, that the psychic predicted, yeah? Because there's an Olive I did actually see, but I don't think it's a predicted Olive that the psychic predicted, and is in the first few days of when the time period of the reading was supposed to come true. Unfortunately, this Olive that I saw, obviously she was in her early 20s, just like the psychic said, and she did have brown hair, and she was very, very sexy. But unfortunately, while she accidentally passed me and barged past slightly, or nudged me or whatever, as I moved to let her granny pass so that she didn't fall over, she said sorry, and it sort of went into a conversation, a friendly conversation, because on that day it was really hot and sunny. While we're having a conversation, I was sort of joking with her and said, my name's Justin, and she said her name was Olive, and I thought, yeah, that's interesting. So I told her that I had a psychic prediction, actually, going back, predicting a girlfriend called Olive, or whatever it was. I said, I didn't put it quite as deep as that. I made it sound a bit more, less intimidating. I can't remember the phrase I use now, but yeah, she said she only found a boyfriend two days ago, and while in having a conversation, she was being polite, obviously, but she said even if she was single, she said it must be a different Olive, because she says not to cause offence. She did put it politely, I'll admit that. Although it's not a nice thing to say, she was polite about it, but she said she wouldn't allow the age gap of what age I am. So I thought it must have been another olive, that the psychic, because the psychic said it was set in stone. But it gets even better because it goes back to Ella on this olive as well, believe it or not. So yeah, while looking at the religious meaning of Ella, I was thinking of olives, at the time. I was reading this Ella piece of information, this Christianity bit of information, what Ella means, which basically means the light, the divine, love, kindness, friendliness. Basically it means Jesus Christ, in other words. Ella's another meaning for that. Well, it mentions overall in it, and I thought, overall, yeah, olive. And I thought, hang on a minute. And this is after I saw the olive that I saw walking about. I thought, well, that olive's fallen through and it's leading me back to Ella. And I thought to myself, well, how can I go with Ella if they've taken her away from me, give her a boyfriend and made her pregnant on purpose? It's the biggest fuck up they've ever made, because I can't do nothing at all. All I can do is fill up hard drives and just hope that I can get my information out to different countries, explaining what the bastards are doing, trying to sexually hang me in the UK. Because, with all this against me, this has caused me to completely fall in April as well. Fall against the Creator and Jesus. But someone's walked into the church, so I'm going to have to stop the recording in a second, and I'll be back in a minute. For the last 15 minutes, I've not been able to mention a couple of things because I had to be polite to let people in the church to look around. So there's a few things I've forgotten what I was going to mention, but one thing I will mention is around the time Putin, or should I say when the war with Russia and Ukraine came to an end, or sort of something like that, I'm not sure what exactly happened. I noticed that's a time period where all the weapon and sexual threats mistaking me as them were on a sudden increase, and where people were getting aggressive. And it's also the time period where I had to do a couple of police calls. I did an online report, 2 incidents on the same day. But this include. But see, the problem is the area I used to live. Areas like Bridgewater, Taunton, Weston-super-Mare, Burnham, Highbridge, North Petherton, Willavington, Langford, Somerton, even as far up as Clevedon. I'm being mistaken as Savannah, and people are getting really nasty. In actual fact, I don't go in that area anymore because of how dangerous the situation is in recent times. And this is on the increase at this minute in time. The last 4 days, apart from today and a section of yesterday, there was a period where the trouble calmed down a bit, and there's another person just come in, so stop for a sec. Yesterday, been getting animal sounds to say that I'm going to the hell because animals or whatever's causing it is thinking that I've shit on that Ella, basically. Well, that's not the case, because I do actually like that Ella. What's happened is I've not seen her because she's been taken away from me, is the words I use. And obviously the spirit realm, or the spiritual forces that are causing the animals to make those sounds, are basically telling me that I'm going to the fire of hell because I've dirt on Ella when I haven't. Ella's been taken from me. She's been given a boyfriend and she's been made pregnant, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's not my fault. But the Creator God, Yahweh, or whatever's causing these animals to make these sounds, are telling me that I'm going to the fire of hell because I won't go with someone I like. Which is a compliment to say that I should be going with someone I like, because I do like that person. But it's not a compliment to say that you're going to hell, and it's not a compliment to say, something that's fallen through. and it's coming back at me. Something that I mean, if she was single and wanted to get with me, I would have got with her, yeah, because I do like her and I do fancy her. But working on the principle of whatever's causing the animals to make those sounds is coming back at me for something that I wanted anyway. So why am I being violated with circumstances coming back at me, which ain't my fault either? So that's another mistake that's been made. Yeah, so anyway, we come to sort of an end with this Ella because she's out of the picture completely. And around about sort of when I didn't see her by April, I knew it was too late anyway. And when I found out this information that she's got someone and that she's been made pregnant with pregnancy tests and all the rest of it, I thought, well, I'm not very happy about it, to say the least. But in that time period of April-ish, is it April? Yeah. I did have a couple of people that were trying to add me on Facebook, but they were not sort of because they go with channels that you don't know, fake channels, you can't tell if it's scammers, but a couple of them seemed like they were a bit underage. So obviously they sort of close their accounts, or they're not on there or whatever. But there seems to be a time period where 7 people deleted me off and fell out with me in one day. I never understood that. And then there was a whole load more that fell out, and then all the people, whether they were scammers or not, or whether they're genuine people on dating, people that I spoke to on Google Chat, exchanging email addresses because of the cost of charging, of the token costs or the coin costs on dating site, because of the expense. Most of them try and hold you to the site, and they're the ones that are affixed to the site just to get money out of people, to rob them, and they make a living out of doing that, using it but there are a couple of genuines on there as well, and obviously the scammers. So like I said, like just now, is around the time when Russia stopped going to war with the Ukraine temporarily or permanently. I don't know how long that'll last, but it's that's a sort of time period where all the trouble increased, the setups increased, the threats, and the viciousness of the animal sound is starting to get nastier as well. Sort of telling me to have sex with people that abused me as a child, telling me that you're going to get abused in your next life, or that you're going to be destroyed in hell or fire, or you're going to be beat up, or saying that you're a rapist or whatever. It's all that sort of stuff. But it's also mixed with positive stuff, rarely, but the positive stuff seems to be on this Ella boundaries. So I don't know what's causing it. It seems to be confused forces that's making these animals make these specific sounds. So yeah, it's I will say this, just for a bit of positive news, is unlikely, but there is the possibility that Ella could be single and hasn't been made pregnant by a boyfriend. It could be something that someone's made up, but the likelihood is that is not the case. If she is single, just supposing that option was there, she's going to have to contact me as fast as fucking possible, because time is running out, and there are not many people that are single anymore. Even though there's a massive age gap, there's not a lot of choice left. But I don't think that's the case. The problem is everyone has someone, and if you look at all the people in the past where they've well, let's put it this way, you sometimes get like friend suggestions come up on Facebook. There seems to be a lot in the sort of age 14 for some reason. I don't know why you're getting a load of them come up, but just clicking on profiles, because they always show the picture of the face on the profile. When you click on the profile, you'll find out who it is. All of them, even at that age, are in relationships right across the internet, or should I say Facebook. There's literally, you're looking at about being a genuine person. That's, as far as the sexual lookers go, if someone is so hot, if someone is hot, if someone is very sexy, if someone is good looking, if someone is attractive, or if someone's basic attraction, all of those that I just mentioned are always taken. The only ones that are ever single are the ones that go to the grubby attraction. I can take to all of those from attractive up, but none of them are available. And we go back just a few days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, I can't remember when it was now. I had my CD. It's like a CD I use that has writing on it asking if anyone's single and not had anyone or been able to get any sex all my life or whatever, which goes back to when I wrote this out and got it photocopied. It was in 2015, but I still use it today, and just take the paper out of the CD case and put it into a new CD case when the CD case breaks or whatever. And this teenage couple, so they're about 18, they were pushing a buggy, so they had a baby, and she saw what was on the information that was on my CD, and she basically said, if you don't go with someone over the age of 40, that makes you a very sad fucking person, doesn't it? And saying you're supposed to lose virginity over people over the age of 40, look at your fucking age, you fucking sicko. And I thought, well, she can talk because she's only about 18, if that in fact, and she's pushing a pushchair where she's had sex with her boyfriend. So basically, anyone in the world that loses virginity with someone under the age of 40 is basically a paedophile then, yeah? Because that's what she's applying. So, yeah, not happy about that either. And I'm not being funny, but if we go back last week, I did actually, it's very rare this, very rare, especially in recent times, and these were foreign looking people, but she was a sexual type. There was a relationship, someone slightly older than me, or around my age or whatever it was, I can't remember, just to look at, that is, and he was with a foreign person who was only the age, no, that's wrong, hang on, I'm thinking of the other one, no, this goes back to last year, the beginning of this year, so I'm thinking of that one, where this bloke was, what, I guess my age or whatever it was, I can't remember, and he was with like someone only 18. I thought that's very rare this day and age. Anyways, more people in the church, so I've got to cut the recording a sec. Yeah, I was getting a bit confused there, because there was just a lot of people coming in and out of the church today. Actually, I don't recall a day where it's not in use to be quite this busy, actually. Yeah, so the other day now, I'm going to get that other one out of the way first, because I forgot, I just clicked onto me on the one, that West Bay, the beginning of this year or late last year, and also there was another person near enough in some time period. Again, this person was saying like early mid-20s, I can't remember, and again with a much older person, and it was okay, and they were passing people, you know, that are like the type that start on me, and I have been started on, not so much in the not last year, but where people have had massive age gaps, where someone's in their 40s with someone in their late teens, it's seen as normal, and I've been threatened with threats, being mistaken as Sven, by the way, get in trouble Yet that person who was with the teenager had no trouble at all from that person. But all the people that pass, those threats are directly linked to me when those threats are being made. They didn't moan about the age gap between those two that I saw or whatever. It does occur, especially before the lockdown. There's quite a load of people that I saw with different age gaps. But in general cases, in Somerset in particular, I don't know what it's like across the whole country. It's hard to say, because there are people with massive age gaps. But Somerset in particular, or this part of the country, amongst the more serious community, or the dry and sarcastic type, there does seem to be this issue where they're moaning about the age gaps if there's more than 8 or 10 years difference in age. I don't know why that is, but that never used to be a problem. And when I was speaking to someone in America, obviously she's single, but she can't help me, she's in her mid-20s. She said it's love that counts, age is just a number, and she said it sort of had a discussion with me saying it's not about the age. And there's quite a few things that I showed her. I even gave her documentation, photographic evidence of comments or replies that I get from people in the UK about age gaps or moaning about this, and it absolutely shocked her. She was absolutely shocked by it. She had the same sort of mind I had, that what's it all this for, and why are you getting treated like that? I mean, just asking someone, and she said even that, she got the information to the age and who it was and whatever. I gave her all that, and even she agreed that these people are just outright nasty. So, anyway, there's something I was going to mention a few days ago. What was it? Oh God, what was it now? It's along the same basis, the differences between ages where I saw a person or whatever. Just to cut a long story short, because I can't remember what I was going to say now. It's popped out of my head. Yeah, let me just think of a few more things I need to mention. Yeah, I don't quite understand why there was a strike of luck last year, where there were new people that I was getting to know. The thing is, for some reason, as soon as we hit Christmas, straight after Christmas, everything seems to fall through, or they put everything through for some reason. So what happened is these younger people that go to the community place, it's not just Ella or Lucy that's left. All the others are left as well. All the ones under the age of 30 or 35 are no longer going when it comes to the females, apart from Chloe. I won't give her a surname for reasons, I'll get in trouble. But if she ever saw this video, unlikely she will, but I still can't give the surname, sorry. Even she gave me a piece of paper telling me she doesn't like me, and on the writing it said, she basically, this piece of paper she gave me, she wrapped it up and gave it me, said, just to let you know, I don't want to be friends with you, and I don't like you, and someone thinks that you have a crush on me. I don't care if you do or not, I'm not interested, and I don't want to be friends with you ever. And when I go to that community place, an older lady that she knows, who I used to play pool with, after Ella left, she doesn't like me either. And she has very close connections with Chloe. So actually mine is the point it's going to anymore. I went this week, there was a couple of people, but if we go back the last month, there's only been, when I've arrived there, and this is an hour after it starts, there's only been 2 people that have ended up turning up there. And that's why I stopped sort of never going. As far as the Tuesday sessions go, which is the one Lucy went to, incidentally, I mentioned a burning problem where I get cat claw scratch burning problems at my place, which causes like burning pain, seems to burn into the bones. It's sort of like you're breathing the air, sort of. You've got itchy feet, tingling feet. You just feel like very drawn, very tired, drained. Sometimes you can get a sore throat from whatever's causing it. And at times I've not been able to stay in my apartment because of it. Well, this Lucy has a surname that matches, different spelling, but matches the issue of the burning problem that I have at my place. And how I found that Lucy on Facebook is a 1 in a million chance. I was just looking at random people, and to actually discover her Facebook channel is literally, how that could have been done is literally impossible. But I must have clicked one person, went on that one person, looked at the friends and clicked another person, and literally unbelievable. That was how I discovered her channel. Because you can't, I searched for it last year in search, and you can't find it anywhere. It doesn't come up. Her Facebook is private. So how I managed to get and locate that out of every single person you know that's on the Facebook, or everybody else around the country, it's just literally, I was shocked. I was shocked, and I thought, yeah, that is the right person. And yeah, it shocked me. It really did. How that occurred, it's just beyond belief. However, it was a mistake because I didn't realise that she didn't really like me, and obviously that's all over. Actually, 2026. Straight, Ella's the last person I've seen. That's the last person, the final person that I know in person that likes me. That's the only person. She likes me, yeah, but mistakes have been made. That's the problem, and I doubt I'll ever see her again. And the likelihood is, like I said, it's not 100% guaranteed that she's a mother or made pregnant or whatever, or got a boyfriend or whatever. But the likelihood is, in most cases, and all the other times in the past, they've deliberately put everything through and deliberately, on purpose, made these people pregnant to stop me going with them. And one person in the USA, going back to dating, I was telling her about all the stuff and showing her bits of information, negative information of how people perceive me if they see me out and about and whatever. And she did actually say, it's your entitlement, and saying if you've not had anyone in your whole life, you are actually entitled to go with whoever you want. You shouldn't have to be forced to go with a single mother or someone that's been in past relationships. She said there's someone out there for everyone. But that doesn't seem to be the case, does it? Because they keep on messing it up. All possibilities are through. There's a 1% chance that Ella's not with a boyfriend, and there's a 1% chance she hasn't been made pregnant. But that cannot be guaranteed. That's the problem. And because I can't see her, because forces have stopped her ever seeing me, it's going to be too late anyway. And the problem is, a majority of people, 99.9% of people, are in relationships well before the age of consent, and they deliberately make that person pregnant when they reach legal age to make it their own. And then what they do is, as soon as they go into negative attraction, they divorce or dump them, and they look for a younger person to be greedy for their suffering feelings over sex, which fucks it up for anyone that hasn't had anyone. And there's a very scarce amount of people, and I can't find anyone. The problem is, we've got another problem, because up until about 3 or 4 years ago, in all the other countries, the age of consent is lower than what it is in the UK. So the UK is 16 to 18, 16 parental consent if the person's a lot older, but people in authority who are in charge of people 16 and 17, they can't get in a relationship with them because of a new law that was enforced in 2003. But it is illegal for someone any age, if they're 16, via parental consent as well. as consent. That's in the UK, but it's often seen as 18 as being a more respectable, in today's time anyway, as people view it as 18 rather than 16, even though it's 16. Something like that, I don't know how to word it. But the problem is, in China, it's 14. Obviously, they changed the age of consent in the last couple of years because the empire, the elite, have tightened up on all the countries, forcing them to up the age. So yeah, China was 14 up until a few years ago. Until whenever they change it. Japan was 13, and in the Philippines it was only 12. And if you go to Nigeria, it's 11. Obviously, that's been up now as well. But the lowest age consent country in the world is actually Yemen. The age consent for sex, for any age, isn't actually 9 years of age. Obviously, they've had to up the age of that. There's a TV advert actually that's saying that, going back along, saying that people in specific countries like Yemen are forced to marry people 3 times their age, but we're looking on the principle as, you know, being only 9, if you get what I'm saying, where the other people are like 50 or 60 or whatever. So it's obviously, I can see why they've changed the law on that. But anyway, the age of consent's not really going to make much difference when it comes to finding anyone. But finding anyone that's not a mother is the difficulty. Is the difficulty of finding that person. You know, there's just nobody single out there. With all the trouble increasing, all the threats increasing, everything's on the increase, you see, at the moment. The bike issue in particular, but the one thing that's really, really standing out at the moment is they keep on making the suggestion that you molested Sadie. And they keep on making the suggestion that you need to be weaponed down, and there can be up to 100 plus suggestions of just that one person per day, especially in the last week or less, just under. And also making suggestions to involve my father, but going far-fetched with the suggestions, and that can be around about 100 a day, if not more. If we go back 2 days ago and a bit before that. Now, I'm not going to say exactly what it is because I don't want to offend people. I don't want to offend my father or anybody else. But I can tell you now what their suggestion is well below the belt. And it's not just well below the belt, I mean extremely well below the belt in the sort of suggestions that they're applying. However, when it comes to my brother or my mother, they don't seem to ever make any suggestions in any sort of way when it comes to those people, when it comes to those 2 members of the family. I don't know why they've never made suggestions of those 2. It all seems to be focused around my father when they make the suggestions of whatever it is they want to set up on a specific day. Actually, other members of the family that they don't suggest. All they do, they still suggest is Stephanie now and again, when I've never had sex with her. And quite frequently, they're going back to the Wayne business. Now, the Wayne setups, or the suggestions of Wayne, started in 2005, and by 2006 or maybe 2007, that suggestion died out quicker than it came, basically, and there was no suggestions of Wayne at all. But as soon as we came out of the lockdown and they reconstructed all this force against me, much more nastier than ever before, or whatever causes his setups or control around me, has got a lot more nastier. They're bringing back the Wayne business as well, and they're even going back to days of Michael Cornwall, who was an old school friend that I don't really get on with. And I've not seen him for many years, and he managed to contact me a couple of years ago, so he ended up chatting on the phone, but I didn't really get on with him because he wanted to say things that I wasn't happy about. and that he wanted to be queer. So, no, I sort of ended the call. I didn't really like him anyway. Just sort of liked him as but that was it when I was at school. But then I sort of, when I grew up, I sort of started to dislike him. Anyway, so yeah, at the moment, this minute in time, or most of this year, the main aggression is to claim that I molested Sadie when I haven't. Yeah, the whole of this year, near enough, it's just that one fucking setup over and over again. So yeah, and obviously they're making the suggestion that they're going to stop you getting anyone and telling you that you have to go with an old granny and just nailing you as sad as anything. But getting really aggressive and absolutely fucking... I'm not being funny, but the people that are causing this, or the people that are setting this action up, they probably had sex with fucking teenagers, and they got the nerve to tell me I'm a sick bastard if I don't go with someone over the age of 40 or whatever. However, in other countries, they're more flexible in allowing different age gaps. Many of the ones in the USA, even in their early 20s, are saying that's not a problem. I'm speaking to people, you know, in the UK. If I speak, like, for example, I've spoken to people. Well, yeah, actually, I have. There's actually a person. I mentioned Lucy that went to the gardening group. Yeah. Going back to, I think it was on Asian dating. I'm not sure. Let me just think when it was. It might have been late February of this year. Yeah. Yeah. There was someone aged 20. And she said it wouldn't be a problem. She said she would go with me, and she didn't look like Lucy, obviously, but she was sort of brunette, but, you know, a smooth type of attraction, good looking. And she said that if she was in the UK, she'd go with me, no problem at all. She's not got a problem with the age or how you look or anything like that. And she's seen a picture and she knows my age. But when it comes to people in the UK, that seems as criminalising. They're seen as criminalised if you go with someone with a different age gap. So I don't know what it is in the UK. And my brother Fraser, he did message me on Facebook recently while I was discussing about this age issue, and he says it's not just in the UK. He says it seems to be right across Europe because it's happening in Amsterdam as well, because that's where he's based. That's where his work is. And he doesn't understand it. But you go to places like Asia, Africa, America, Russia, or any other part of the world, they seem to be more flexible and more intellectual, not moaning about the age gap. It just seems to be Europe and the UK for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why, well, no one's sure why, but it just seems to be the way. Right, so I'm in the barn where I was when I did the previous recording, moaning about everyone taking everybody away from me and stopping me get anyone. I just want to mention Ella a minute, because this is getting very serious now. I know it's a big age gap, but I want to try and keep that friendship with Ella. I don't want to lose her, because I fucking love her to the fucking heart. There's just something about her that I like, and I can just work out how she is. I mean, even her appearance, the whole lot of her, there's just something I like about her. And if I could, later down the line, get in a relationship with her, I would. And I would never fucking hurt her either. And I would never cheat on her. Even if I saw the sexiest lady ever that made me want to go to her, I would never fucking cheat on that Ella if I got with her. And I will look after her. It's just I want to guarantee that she hasn't got anyone. That's the problem. Because if she's got anyone, it's too fucking late. I don't know how accurate the information is, you see. It could be a misleading piece of information that I've been given, and she might actually still be single. But the problem is, I can't guarantee this, and I need to get to know her, re-know her. I need help with this, because I can't do it, because I don't know her surname. I don't know if she's on social media. I need this help, you see. I really want to keep Ella. I want to get with Ella, you see, because I like her. I really do actually like her. But I am pissed off about the age gap, because obviously But the thing is, it's more a case of not the age, it's a case that I fucking like her, I really do like her. And she was really friendly to me when we were playing pool, and I want to get that, because she doesn't go to that community day, and she only went that once. Just on that one day, I could just pick out and could just sense her. I just felt like I wanted to fucking cuddle her. It's just sort of really cute, you know, sort of really friendly. But I just cannot get information, and I can't get the guarantee, because I'm sort of sat there sometimes fucking getting sickening thoughts in my head that, oh, she's going to be made pregnant, oh, it's going to mess your life up, stop you getting her, and it just makes me fucking like I'm fucking being hanged inside, and I'm getting pissed off of it. So if this Ella is available, even though there's a massive age gap, please, anybody, can you give me the information or get her to contact me, because before it's too late. Alright? Cheers. Right, I just wanted to cover that Ella story first, because obviously it's very difficult to do, because it's embarrassing. If I was with her, I wouldn't feel embarrassed, but because I'm not with her, and because I can't guarantee the outcome, it makes you feel a bit more sort of jerky, or how to word it. Anyway, I want to mention some setups walking up here. So there's 8 people in cars that were giving me trouble, mistaking me as Savannah, coming up with to weapon me and whatever. There's 4 people that were giving me mild threats, I guess. But you know that woman I was mentioning earlier on this documentary, or this recording, should I say? There's a lady that came up to me in Bridport, basically asking if I was single and do you want to come around hers. But at the time that was occurring, there was people around the back where she said she lived. Whether she lived around now, do not know. And I was basically being told that I'm going to be smashed in. He said, when he comes around here in a minute, around the corner, I'm going to bash him in. And I thought, well, is this a setup or not? But she posed it as if she didn't actually go to speak to me initially and then saw me there. But the whole thing it was like very suspicious, and I got very worried. And there's some wording that she used that got me a little bit nervous when she said that it's okay, you can come back, there's going to be no one around that's going to attack you. When she sort of said that, you had that being shouted initially before she said that, that did make me very nervous. And also at the same time, before they changed the bus times, it was the last bus at 1:15 p.m, where you've now got a 5:15 p.m. or whatever it is, via a couple of minutes. I can't remember the exact, but it was around that sort of time. I did say I was going to meet up the next day. Going back when I did see her, I did, but she wasn't there where I wanted to meet up with her. But she is a little bit younger, or appears to be younger than I first thought, because I've never really looked at her properly since that time I saw her. And the reason for that is because she's with a rough boyfriend, and I had to keep sort of avoiding looking at her and try to avoid the best as I can, because I was getting in trouble, and I didn't want to end up in a situation where it got out of hand. So when I first saw her, I'd say she's somewhere between 30 and 35, but after I saw her today, there's like about 2 minutes of cloudy weather that occurred, and I thought, that's the same person. She actually, come to think of it, she looks younger. That's what I had in my head at the time. I'd say she's about 25 actually. Today she was with someone aged about 50. Mind you, she has been with someone aged about 50 before, so it's possibly as a friend, I don't know. It depends what age she goes for, you know, when it comes to relationships. I mean, it's not very often you get people that allow massive age gaps, but I have seen people only 18 years of age with people older than me, even in today's time, as I mentioned earlier. But it is very, very rare. So the next thing I want to mention is there was a gunshot sound that was coming from the one of the fields before I came here. And as I've had a bit of a disagreement on the phone to someone in authority, because I was telling this person that I have a heart for Ella and I have a right to love people that I like. So that's what I said. And I said I said I would never hurt her, and I'm a bit annoyed that I can't see her, because I really like the friendship, even though it was only on one day. So I explained my situation there. Well, I've been naughty. I've just had a fag. I'm going to see if I can give up. I'm in a nice place to do it, because I want to give up on like a friendly sort of area, peaceful area, rather than smoking at my place. And then obviously I have to keep going to the garden to smoke, because obviously I get evicted if I don't. The reason I got into smoking is because my life went downhill. I smoked in the past, many years ago when I was a teenager, and I've been drinking literally since I was a teenager, right through to now. So yeah, I'm getting like chest pain and all the rest of it. So I'm going to give it a try. It's just that when I get on that vodka, I just ended up needing a fag, basically, or a roll-up. So sometimes I'm going into Tanya's flat and asking for a roll-up in exchange for a bit of vodka or whatever, and whatever. So yeah, Tanya's a good friend, but she's not someone I take to, not sexually. She knows that as well. I can't give surnames of these people that I mention on these recordings, because without their consent it wouldn't be the right thing to do, and I could get in trouble, because a lot of people these days are quite fussy about things being said if it's not, you know, if you give other names, if you give the surname or whatever, or the actual name of the place. I have done recordings where I've accidentally said the name of the place, but I always make sure that I don't give the surnames of these people. So, yeah, going back to Ella, if she is single, I really do want to fucking get with her, because the thing is, the chances of getting anyone is next to none. And I mean, I've been on this planet 44 years and never been able to find anyone that's adaptable. And to be fair, out of everyone I've known, Ella's the only friendliest person in the age group she is that has ever been nice to me out of everybody. If we go back to last year, I'll give you an example on this. There was someone called Victoria. Now she was 17. She visited the gardening group. I never really spoke to her, because she gives me the impression she's the sort of person that doesn't like people, certain people, or certain races or ages or whatever. Now, whether that's true or not, I do not know. But what I will say is, just being polite, I said goodbye, because she was near enough where the desk is at that place, and I was just being friendly, basically. Just said, yeah, see you next week, yeah? And then she started making it sound like getting really fucking funny with me. But luckily, she doesn't go there anymore, so that's good news when it comes to that person, because she doesn't like me. So it was Lucy, the one that I was getting on really well with there. But at the end of the day, as I was mentioning earlier in this recording, it turns out that she's just a rogue friend. So it doesn't bother me. If she wants to be like that, she can be like that. But I won't be going with her if that's the case, even if the option was there, or if she allowed the age gap, because I'm not going to accept someone that treats me like a piece of dirt. Simple as that. Second chances could be, just supposing she spoke normally and in a real friendly way, there's a possibility that I might forgive, but the likelihood that's not going to happen. So, and obviously I think she's taken as well, and I think again, like, well, I don't know, because I don't know how accurate the information is, it could be done just to lead me away from her or lead me away from people, or the mistakes could have already been made where they've been made pregnant. I just don't know. I've got no guarantee, you see. I need to find out by the person itself, but it's a rather rude question to ask if that was to be the case. That's the problem. And people in the UK are very small-minded and don't take things a lot more serious if you just say general things, you know. It's not like it used to be. People were a bit more open-minded and would understand what you're trying to say, but we're living in a different time. People read from the media. They copy what the media tells them, or what the music industry tells them, or what they see on TV, and they're brainwashed into having that one way of thinking, which makes it very, very difficult to make friendship whatsoever. However, with Ella, it's a lot different, and this is why I mentioned what I mentioned in this recording already. As it currently stands, looking on the principle of everybody either with no communication, no contact, and everyone going in relationships or whatever, as it stands, there's two people that I can't 100% guarantee. There's two people, possibly three, but that third person you're going to have to knock on the head, because she's been in a relationship with that rough person, and I think that is one person that I saw in Bridport. I think you're just going to have to knock that one on the head, even though she's quite sexy. I just don't think. I think it's too late. I've just sensed it. I've got like a sense feeling. And my senses are usually right in most cases. So that specific person is out the door basically. So there's two possibilities, and these two possibilities are you're looking at 1% out of 100 of guaranteeing anything. That's how small the number is. You've got that person who had the two puppies that went from Misterton to Mosterton on the bus, which I mentioned earlier in this recording. But although I saw on those occasions, and there's a slim possibility that I saw her face on someone's smartphone earlier this year, but I can't guarantee whether that's the same person, because I only got a quick glimpse of a couple of seconds or so. And if it was the same person, it appears that she doesn't even live in this area. I can't remember the name of the area she lived, because it's gone out of my head, but it's definitely not local to Somerset, which is not helpful. And you got this Ella that I mentioned, and Ella's one of the most serious names that seems to be cropping up lately. I've mentioned this right through this recording, and it's not because of those reasons. I just like Ella in general. Before it was started uncovering in all my old school jungle tracks, or the suggestion Ella was coming out everywhere. No, I liked her before that. So again, there's only 1% guarantee. Again, I can't guarantee, you see, because I've been told that she's been made pregnant, and she's had pregnancy tests apparently. It's not fucking good news. But it depends how accurate the information is. That's the problem. Whether it's something to deceive, or whether it's actually genuine. Because if she is single, I really want to get that friendship with her, and I will make her life better. I'll do the best I can under the circumstances. It might take a few years for me to come around or get back to normality, since I've been suppressed all these years, which is fucking lowering my intelligence level and fucking making me feel like shit or whatever. And give me the chance. If I can get with her, I can guarantee now I would never split up with her for the whole of my life. I would stay with her, and I would never hurt her in any way whatsoever. But it's just getting that connection, that's the problem, and guaranteeing that the mistake hasn't been made. If it has, if there is anyone single out there, I want a younger person, obviously, and I don't want to go with a parent. And obviously it's going to have to be someone that has like sexual smooth skin like everybody else has had, because I don't take to the negative type. Doesn't really matter what race that person is, but it's going to have to be someone that's loving, someone that likes doing things, not just sitting down watching TV all day. I like going out to places, nature, all that sort of stuff, trying new things, enjoying life the best I can. And you know, it's just knowing. But yeah, so if there is anyone single, yeah, please contact me, because I'm very, because of the way people are today, it makes it very limited, you see, and me finding anyone is literally impossible. This is why I'm still single. And it fucking hurts me as well, because some of these people, these ladies that I thought liked me, I've had like sort of negative thoughts at times, thinking, is that person alright? And I really like that person, and please will you go with me if you're single, and I hope you don't get made pregnant, all that sort of stuff. It's sort of, you're dwelling on it, it makes you fucking feel ill and hanged inside. It hurts you fucking inside. And it only turns out later on, when you sort of speak to that person or whatever, it only turns out they really bloody hate you, even though you've had that sort of feeling for them. And that really sickens you, do you know what I mean? But it's been like that all my life. They've all done it. I don't exactly know why, me in particular, nobody likes. I don't understand it. Because I've never hurt them, I've never said anything wrong. And it always seems to be the case. And also, it turns out most of these people, going back to many years ago, that I wanted to get with, who saw me as a piece of shit, were like, when I was in my older days, it turns out they all got made pregnant, and they made the mistakes, and they got in violent relationships, rather just because of an age gap or just because of something else. When they knew that they could have gone with me and they would have been fine. But it's up to them to make their decision. I can't force them to go with me. If they want to go with someone else, then go with someone else. But you know, it does hurt you a little bit when you find out that they deliberately go against you just because of some stupid reason to get into a domestic violent relationship. It really does. They all do it, a whole lot of them. It's always been like that right through my whole life. This is why I'm trying to get Ella. I mean, this day and age, quite literally all the people out there are pretty much just nasty pieces of shit. Seriously. But, sorry about this cough, but it's that smoking, you see. I'm going to try and knock it on the head on that fag. It's a nice place to do it, you know. Apart from it being very sunny, I might add. There's a bit of cloud today, that's the good news. And I did manage to get the picture of what I wanted to get over the last 2 days. It hasn't come out as good as I thought, though. But I'm not sure whether to keep the sunny day one or the actual cloudy day one. I'll make a decision. I think the one that's a bit cloudier looks a little bit better. But I think what's happened is I should have taken the picture 2 weeks ago when it looked a bit more interesting, but you know, you can't help it being sunny every day. But never mind, at least I got some form of picture where it looks quite nice. Which one I keep, I don't know. So yeah, but going back to the subject of wanting a girlfriend, yes, I want sex because I've been suffering for a fuck all my life and never been able to have it. But that's not the only reason I want someone. So we go back to Ella, for example. I actually like Ella, love her, should I say, more than I actually fancy her. She's good looking. Yeah, she's quite a good looker. And there are people a lot sexier than her. But I would not desert Ella for someone else who is sexier with a nastier personality or a nasty side to them. With that Ella, there's something about her and I just like her. I don't know why. I just can feel it. Her accent, the way she is. I just like her. You can't take that away from me. I like her in the fucking heart. But even if she gets, even like I said earlier, even if she is in a relationship with someone, as a friend, I still like her in the heart. There's just something about her I like. I love her to bits. Obviously, I won't be able to go with her or have sex or anything like that. She's got someone or been made a parent, but, or I wouldn't say a parent, but, you know, been made pregnant, but you just have to be replaced, that's all. But I'll still be friends with her, and if I ever saw her, and I'd still like her to the heart, that's what I'm trying to say. But if it's through, and it's not possible, or she doesn't take to me or something like that, for example, because I don't know, because I never really brought that conversation up, because it's not the right thing to do, then obviously it's going to have to be someone new, innit? But it's finding that new, innit? Because I don't know anybody at all, whatsoever, that can replace Ella. So, if there is anyone capable of doing that, then obviously contact me on the details in this recording, or go on my Facebook. There's quite a lot of negative stuff I put on Facebook. There's my moaning all the time, but that will all stop as soon as I get someone. This is why I write stuff down when I go out and photograph problems or whatever, or audio record threats or whatever. All that will stop if I get someone, but it'll have to be someone that I fancy, obviously, and it'll have to be someone I love, and it will have to be someone that, how do I word it, where I can accept, you know, hard to explain, but that, because if I was, for example, if I was offered a grubby lady that I can't stand the look of, who's got a boo sort of accent, just sits in front of the TV all day and makes it to a point where it's an impossibility to even have sex, then obviously no, I wouldn't stop anything on that. But it's just fucking knowing whether that Ella's single. That's the problem. It's going to take a long time, possibly even years, to build it up. But in that time, you can still do things, you know. But it's just, you need to guarantee that that person's not going to fall against you if she is single. You know, turn against you for someone else. It's not easy, you know. It's very difficult. No matter what you do, it's just, you've got a 1 in a million chance. That's how it works these days. I don't know how it works in other countries, but as I was saying earlier, even my brother Fraser has told me it's like it right across Europe. It's not just in the UK, where there's people moaning about different colours, skin, different races, age gaps. And most of the people in like America or Africa or Asia, when it comes to dating sites or friendship, they're saying age is just a number at the end of the day. If you like someone and you both like each other and both compatible, why should age matter? You know, it's the love that counts. But they're not very loving, are they, in the UK, most of them? As I just mentioned, they go into relationships and they end up in domestic violence, and it ends up in problems, them being made pregnant, and then their boyfriends leave them, then some of them end up suicidal, and it ends up like that. They make those mistakes, you see, that's the problem. And if I got someone, I would not be able to afford to lose anyone anyway. Not that I would ever turn against that person, but using that as a, just for example, if I was lucky enough to ever get anyone and end up in loads of relationships, that would be sort of answer most people would sort of give. But I wouldn't do that even if that was the case. But it wouldn't have been, but if that's the case, it wouldn't have been me. Just supposing I did ever get in a relationship. I haven't been in a relationship, but just supposing I was in a relationship and it split up, it wouldn't be because of me. It would be because that person split up with me. Because I would not split up and I would not hurt anyone I went with, even if I went in previous relationships. Unfortunately, I haven't. I've never been in a relationship at all. I've not even been able to get sex properly in my whole life. But I'm just saying, I'm not the sort of person that would dump someone or be a cold-hearted person to anyone like that. Everyone, it's like animals. If you saw a cat outside or a dog and they were suffering, I would pick that cat or dog up and I'd take it home, even though if I'm not allowed pets, or at least take it to the vet so that it goes to a safe home. You've got to treat people like that. You can't just. You've got to think that people have hearts as well. But a lot of people out there just don't see that. They won't speak like that either. They think they're hard. They think showing love makes them feel stupid, makes them feel like they're stupid. They need to open up. They just don't. People just. I mean, it's embarrassing for myself mentioning Ella right across this recording. But, you know, if you like someone, who cares, you know? I'm not going to fucking keep it off if I like someone or love someone. It's as simple as that. If I want to say I like someone, love someone, my heart likes them and loves them. And if I say it on there, on this digital audio recording device, then that's fine. I got my say, you know? Even though it's embarrassing, I don't care. The heart can overtake the embarrassing part of this recording. So, you know, simple as that. Right, so I've just been coughing my guts up because I've been smoking. Like I said, I've had the last fag. There is something I will mention though. You don't get this much anymore. But places like barns, this really annoyed me in the past when I was doing walks, especially in my younger years. People in places like barns, haystack places, or you know, designated air raid shelters or whatever, there's always fucking teenagers going in there having sex. Now I will give it this, they do use a condom because they leave it behind, but the problem is nowadays they don't, because they enjoy the sex more without a condom, and a lot more people, and there's a lot more stuff being shown on TV, on the internet, where they're discussing that many people are not using the Johnny. But this is not helpful, and this is the problem I got. And this is why, when I look like I've been mentioning right through this, when it comes to Ella, that you know, it could be too late. That's the problem. What's that bloody warplane? Just a minute. Just saw that. There's a bloody warplane. It seriously is. It's a warplane. I'm not sure where that's going to, but that's a fucking warplane. I'm not sure what the name of the plane is, but I know it's a warplane. Another one, is that? Or was that the same one? No, same one. Yeah, it's a bloody warplane. Oh well. So yeah, I say a window. There's no windows in there. Well, I guess you can call them windows. They're like concrete open squares. Form of window without the glass in it, I guess is a better word to use. So a window, but not the glass type. You know, the open ones. Because there's a barn, you see. It's not like a enclosed sort of structure. But I think it's a listed building. I'm not sure, because what's happened is it's being reconstructed. They've got new wood. New beams across the ceiling. It's probably a listed building, and that's why people sort of, you know, that's why it's open to the public, so they can sort of have a look, take photographs or whatever. So, yeah, I think I covered the subject that I want to mention. So, the other thing is, another thing that annoys me, I will mention this, it just goes back to dating. You're getting a scammers, yeah, on dating sites, and they're saying, why are you speaking to someone else if you're speaking to me on there? And the reason you have to do that is because you've got no choice in the matter. Because you're speaking to one person, and you can speak for several weeks, and it turns out they're a scammer. You need that backup plan. although I wouldn't generally do that, speak to someone else, violating someone else that I'm trying to speak to who wants to get in a relationship, but because you can't guarantee anyone's genuine, it leaves you with no choice, especially if you don't know them in person or never spoken to them before, and they can't provide, proper evidence to confirm that they're a real person and not a scammer. So it is very difficult when it comes to dating sites. And I've messaged about 7,000 people since November last year on dating sites, and I've had about 150 replies, and basically all those replies are either asking for money, top-up cards, vouchers, travel costs, high travel costs I might add, like money for plane tickets to come into the country, or 50 quid or 80 quid to come from up the country to come. But they always mess up because they keep on saying they need that amount of money for gas, which means petrol. So they're obviously forgetting that the UK, it's named petrol, not gas. And you're getting all that, so they're messing up big time when they're mentioning all this. So, that's just one thing they mess up on. And it's the accent and the sort of the way they go about it. So they're very clever, these scammers. So this is why I've been relying on Ella. When I saw her on the 14th and she told me she was going back on until, for a couple of months or whatever, a few months, she was never there again. Because there's no one else that has spoken and been as friendly as Ella right through my whole life. Even in school days. Because I was never liked by the children who were female, even in school days. Right through my whole life, I've hardly been liked by anyone who's sexual looking that's a female. Right through. So, that says it all, doesn't it? But Ella in particular, she's 1 out of a million, and that is why I don't want to lose that specific person. But the guarantee on this is next to nothing, because I just don't know. All I know is her first name. That's it. There's nothing else I can get. There's no other information I can get, you see. But if it is through, or it doesn't take place, then obviously if there's any replacements, like I was saying earlier, can you do me that favour, because I'm powerless to do anything, no matter what I try. So I'll leave it there on that bit. Right, so I'm still in the barn, and I'm going to be in the barn for another 2 hours nearly. I arrived here about 3 hours 15 minutes before the last bus home. The buses don't run very frequently, because obviously they take bus services off if the company doesn't make the money on certain routes, or if not, they lower the amount of travels per day. So I haven't been getting too bored. I haven't really done any recordings. I just sort of been walking around aimlessly in the barn. But what I will say is I went to do a recording the other day. It was a recording just about Ella, and there's a few things that I forgot to mention. And that is, although I was sort of saying that Ella's in a relationship and has been made pregnant and all that. Oh fuck. Something just... Yeah, just check to make sure I'm safe. I'm going to stop this recording in a second. I'm going to continue it. I just want to check out the that room. Yeah, I was going to delete that previous bit of information. No, I'm only going to say this once because I've mentioned it many times throughout this recording. But what I forgot to put in the documentary on the Ella conspiracy is the fact that even though there's the possibility that she has a boyfriend and being made pregnant, that might just be false information that's been given to me and might not be true, and she might actually still be single. If that's the case, that's really good news. But I'm not going to keep mentioning the same thing over and over again, because it's mentioned quite a lot in this recording. Yeah, since I stopped that previous recording, because I had to stop the recording because I had to make sure things were safe in that room. But it appears to me that there could be something paranormal occurring, because there was tapping on the actual roof above in the time period that I stopped that recording. So I went to have a look outside to see if it's like birds or seagulls or pigeons or whatever. There doesn't seem to be anything up there, but when I came back in here, the sounds came to a sudden stop. I just wanted to let you know that there's been another 2 warplanes pass, and there is something that's irritating me as well. It's turned into a very sunny afternoon, which has annoyed me a bit, because you've had a bit of cloud today. That's the good news, because I prefer cloudy weather. I'm a cloudy type person. I don't mind sunshine, so say you have like 2 months of cloudy weather with no sunshine, then yeah, I do like a bit of sunshine here and there, but I'm just not one of those that's into like the really sunny days. But you've got to take into account, I've had to put up with the sun daily for the last decade or so, and it does get very tedious and very boring. And for specific photographs, because it's not the same sun you had in the past, it's a lot brighter today. The sun had like a yellowy colour going back in the days when I was very young, but where the ozone layer is being ripped apart, it's like a blistering, it's just pure white, the sun now, it's just a white colour, and it's a lot brighter on the ground. Everything looks obliterated. But yeah, so I still got about an hour and a half to wait in there, or just a bit over that. I'll just check the time. Yeah, about an hour and a half, and I'll keep you updated on anything else that I can think of that I need to put in this recording. I'm getting a bit bored, so I'm touching down on some paranormal asking questions to find out if the spirit realm, take into account spirits are around us all the time, so if there can be answers, it would be helpful when it comes to Ella in particular. There's only 2 possibilities left, and they're only 1% out of 100. There's a loud bike to confirm it, is it? Okay. Well, what I was going to ask, so when I do that, time a loud bike to an itchy bumhole erection or whatever, is usually to tell me that they've been doing that a lot lately, actually. Every time I get a thought, not so much in this area, because they can't do it here because there's not much traffic, but in the built up areas, if I get a thought in my head of a lady that I'm after, or a lady I want, they keep on putting a bike in my direction and do it in a spiteful fucking way. Now, I just want to ask a few questions to the spirit realm. If you can help with this, that'd be very helpful. It goes back to this Ella. If Ella is single, 1 loud knock. If Ella has a boyfriend, 2 knocks. If Ella has a boyfriend and been made pregnant, 3 knocks, and I'll give you 30 seconds to do those knocks, starting from now. There's 2 taps coming up from there. That's a 3rd one. Hang on. Right, I've had to ask the question again because, quite simply, I've given a minute and a half, so I've got some time to mention what I want to mention on here. But I've asked for 1, 2 or 3 knocks. If Ella is single, 1. If she's got a boyfriend, 2. If she's in a relationship and been made pregnant, 3. Well, obviously I got the results, but I did notice that when I played the recording back, there wasn't 2 knocks, there was 3 fucking knocks. And there's no one else in this building that was doing any knocking. And there's no human outside. This was definitely knocks that were coming from some source. I just want to mention that since I did the last recording, there's actually been another 4 knocks in sections of 2. Whether that means anything, and this is without asking any questions, whether this is random or whether it's spirit or whatever it is, whether it's answering questions or whether it's just general noises in here, I do not know. But the response, like just now, or when I did the recording, I'm a little bit annoyed by that. Because if it's too late to go Vela, because of issues of being made pregnant or anything like that, if this is genuinely being done by a spirit, then I'm not going to be able... I just don't know. I don't know whether you picked that up. There's a few knocks in, but it's not coming in the same area where it was like just now. This is coming up from the roof or something like that. Right, so the last 15 minutes I've just been sitting there doing absolutely nothing. There's been a few knocks, but nothing evidential for me to believe. Though that one specific recording, not the first section, I don't know if that's picked any knocks up actually. It needs to be checked. You need headphones to see on that, and you need it very loud on that section of the recording, and play it back a couple of times to see what you can hear. There was definitely 3 knocks on the next recording, but the knocks seem to be coming randomly in different numbers on top of asking the questions, so I'm not 100% sure whether or not the information's valid or whether it's just coincidence. Right, it's now time for me to get the bus, so I'm going to have to leave. But what I will mention is there's been another 7 loud bike issues. Now they always do this when something falls through, so if I have a psychic reading, like the prediction of girlfriends in the past or whatever, they make it clear as soon as I leave the psychic room, or whatever you want to call it, that I'm not going to get anyone. And it always turns out true, and they always mess it up. Or if it's not messed up, something's causing it to fuck up. Right, so we've had a motorbike in my direction, tying to Itchy whatever. Straight after that, there's this lady that gets on the bus, got on the bus at Misterton to go to Mosterton with the 2 puppies. It's not the same lady, but it's a lookalike to her, except this lady's a lot older, possibly a bit older than me, but it's got the same resemblance in the face. Now, whether this means anything, I do not know, but it's a very interesting suggestion to be walking to the bus stop with. And let me just mention something else. This person that I'm about to mention is out of the picture frame altogether, and she hates me like a piece of shit. It's called Gemma. It's a person that I knew at Burnham-on-Sea, who I spoke to on the beach in the lockdown period. And obviously when I left that letter in her workplace to ask if she wants to meet up for a coffee and to get to know each other better, a friendship, that's when she phoned me up saying that you're having your life taken, and got really nasty about it, whatever she said. Can't remember the full sentence now, but she made it clear she doesn't like me. That's all over. That's out the equation. But it might be worth mentioning that this person does actually have very similar characteristics to that Gemma. However, I'm not going to mention that Gemma again because there's no need to. She's completely out of the picture, so I'll leave it there. I have only seen that person twice, by the way, and I've spoken to her. Obviously she does give that look in her eye, that sparkling look, as if she fancied me. I mentioned it earlier on this recording, but it's knowing whether she's single, I do not know. It's similar to Ella. When it comes to Lucy, that's also out of picture as well, because there's factual evidence that she's with someone. There's actual picture evidence on the internet, so I'll leave it there. Finally, on this section, I just want to mention that although it's through, there is 2 days left, but I can tell you now it's through, but there is actually 2 days left on the Olive girlfriend prediction by the clairvoyants and the psychics. So I think I mentioned that earlier, but just in case I didn't, because I can't remember what I said earlier on. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Right, obviously I can't give surnames or anything like that, but I just been given an awkward eye, the evil eye, by literally a lookalike to one of the staff workers at my place, who work in supported housing, and looked at me like a piece of dirt. Not obviously, I don't really want to give names to be fair, but LY, I won't say the full name because it could cause issues, but yeah, I just had that from a person walking past.